Boker Tov Yoladim. Good morning, childrens. Good morning. Hello, everybody. One, two. Okay, nobody wants to have class today? Hello, Allie Mae. Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes. Yes. We're in the hall.
All right, let's start our day off. Good morning. All right, Boker Tov. All right, Yeshua, you pray for us. Lara, do the Shema. And Yeshua, you do the Ten Commandments.
Thank you, Lord, for this day, for giving us. And please help us where we learn more and that we could obey and that we could follow your word and that we could pay attention to you. And in Yeshua's name, Amen. Shema Israel, Yehovah Elohim, Yehovah Echad, Baruch Shem Kebo Malkuto Leolam Baed. Hear Israel, the Lord our God is one God. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Do not take any idols beside my face. Don't take the name of the Lord in vain. Keep the Sabbath holy. Honor your mother and father. Do not steal. Do not commit adultery. Honor Lord. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Do not have any other gods beside my face. Don't take the name of the Lord in vain. Keep the Sabbath holy. Honor your mother and father. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not lie. And do not covet.
All right, give Yeshua wiggly two fingers. Wiggly two fingers. All righty, we got a small class this morning, so we'll only go for a little while if we have just this many people this morning. All right, Allie Mae, are you there? Turn on your camera if you're there. So Allie Mae's computer is here, but Allie Mae is not. All righty. All right, well, a short little class here, everybody. We're going to read Bereshit 37, verse 36. In Egypt, the Midianites sold Joseph to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard. All right. So, Yeshua, can you tell me what it means to be a slave? What does it mean to be a slave?
A slave means to work and also well, you could be sold off easily. And you could be thrown to jail easily too.
Okay, so slave means you work, you get sold,
Here.
Hadassah, do you know what being a slave means?
A slave is like somebody who worked for you.
Or is that somebody who has a job?
Yes.
Is a slave any different than somebody who goes out to work?
No.
Okay. All right. Shmuel, do you know what a slave is?
Yes. A slave is what's they 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 wait for people.
They wait for the people?
Their work.
They work for the people?
Yes.
Okay. Are they treated nicely?
Are they treated nicely? Yes.
Okay. Well, no, they're not treated nicely. Okay. Elisheva, can you tell me what a slave is? Do you know what a slave is? Because we need to understand what's happening to Joseph in this verse.
Okay, what's a slave?
Dejaduro.
That belongs to someone.
Someone belongs to someone.
And they're forced. And they're forced. And they're forced to work.
The work.
Stay still. Listen.
So they're forced to work? Okay. All right. So we got to talk about this, especially for young kids, because you really need to understand what's going on here, because being a slave is something very bad, okay? Very hard, very, well, a slave is somebody who doesn't have rights of their own. It means they don't get choices to make for themselves, okay? They don't get treated very nicely, okay? So the master, especially if he's a pagan who doesn't follow our God in the Bible, because in our Bible, in the Torah, it gives you laws, okay, rules, how you can treat a slave and what can set a slave free. In the world, once you're a slave, you don't have any rules. So if somebody wants to beat you up because you looked at them like one eye, or you looked at them like this, or you answered back, they could beat you, okay, and treat you very badly, okay? So if you're worried about getting treated very badly, and they don't have to feed you, they can only they can feed you whenever they want, okay? You have no money as a slave. You can't go shopping for your own food because you got no money. Uh, um, they don't have to give you a bed or anything like that. So you can sleep on the dirt. Uh, they can beat you with a stick. They can do mean things to girls and boys. Okay. So do you think? Let's go over to Hadassah. Let's start with Hadassah. Hadassah, do you think maybe Joseph was scared becoming a slave?
Yes.
Would
He
you
was scared.
be scared?
Yes, it's because I don't want to get hurt.
You don't want to get hurt? Do you sleep in a bed?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have your own bed, or at least some
Yeah.
bed. Okay, is it comfortable?
Yes.
Okay, how would you like not to have a bed at all?
That That won't be good. My back won't rest any good.
Won't be good. Okay, Shmooey, do you think that Joseph was scared?
Think. No.
No? You don't think he was scared? You don't think becoming a slave was, that he was not worried about becoming a slave? He's like, yeah, this is going to be easy.
Would it be? I think it would be fun to be a slave or no? No.
No, you don't think it'll be fun? Do you have your own bed?
Yeah.
Okay. How would you like to not have your own bed and have to sleep on the dirt? Would that be fun?
I didn't hear you.
Would,
Sunny, would it be fun to sleep on the dirt? No.
what about not having no blankets at all? Would you like to have no blankets and be cold in the winter?
No.
No.
It would be fun with no
Okay.
blanket.
What about you, Yeshua? Would you think Joseph was scared?
Yes.
Why do you think he was scared?
Because being in slavery wouldn't be fun.
Why do you think it's not fun?
Because then nobody will have their fun. Everybody likes a break, and the slaves don't get a break. They had to work all day.
So he's not going to get a break. So you think Joseph's going to be tired?
Yes. Yeah. Joseph is going to be tired.
What about food? Do you think he got food all the time?
No.
Why not?
Because slaves get a little bit of food. Just a little bit.
Okay, he's going to go. Don't you think he's going to be hungry then?
Yes.
Oh, why would his master do something like that?
Because they don't treat slaves as good as the servants.
Why not?
Because servants don't get sold. They get sold if the master says.
Well, what if he wants to
They
keep his
don't get.
slave?
Then he keeps it,
Okay,
and if he doesn't want his slave, he sells it.
okay. All right, Elisheva. Do you think that Joseph would be scared becoming a slave, Elisheva? Would you be scared becoming a slave?
Hey,
Yeah.
Why? Why would you be scared?
what did Papa explain about the slave? Why will you be scared?
Do you have your own bed? Well, slaves don't have their own bed. Would you like to not have your own bed and sleep in the dirt?
No.
What about did you eat yesterday?
Yeah.
Did you eat breakfast?
I eat waffles.
Did you eat waffles for breakfast this morning?
Yeah.
Well, slaves don't get to eat waffles.
I eat waffles.
That means you're not a slave.
Yes. I'm a slide.
Mm.
I'm a slide.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's another thing, Elisheva. Slaves don't get to see their family. Would you like to not see mommy?
I guess we're thinking about this.
Would you like to not see mommy for a couple of days?
Would you? Oh, you don't want to see me? Okay.
I see you.
But what happens? Slaves don't see their families. What happens if you don't see me anymore? Will you be sad? Yeah, I'll be sad.
I was sad.
Okay, you'll be sad. All right. Allie Mae, are you there yet? Or should I just work with the little kids?
No, I'm here.
And turn on your camera, please.
My camera is on.
Okay. All right. So we're talking about slavery, Allie Mae.
Mhm.
Do you think Joseph would be scared of becoming a slave?
Yes,
Why do you think he would be scared?
because becoming a slave, for one, you don't get fed. You don't have anything. You don't even know what your master is gonna be like. For one,
Well, what happens if you don't like your master? Can you leave?
no, you can't leave.
What happens if you try to escape?
They'll probably beat you.
Can't you call the police?
No, there's no police.
I mean, in Egypt, there was no police for Joseph. He couldn't dial 911.
No,
Why not?
because there was no such thing as a phone. There was no such thing as 911. There was no such thing as police back then.
So what happened when people robbed other people or stole their chariot or stole their camel?
Then he would be brought back and beaten and probably thrown in jail.
What would you think it would be worse for a girl slave than a boy slave?
Probably
Why?
because mm, well, maybe not. I think maybe it would be worse for the boys than for the
Why? What's your reason?
uh,
Think the boys would have to do harder labor?
yeah, the boys would have to do harder labor, but I mean, the women slaves would still have to do pretty hard labor too.
So do you think it? So who do you think it would be worse for, guys or girls, or equal?
I think it'd be worse for guys.
Just because of harder labor? Any other reasons?
Um, no, no other reasons that I can think of.
Okay. All right. So let's read verse 36 again. In Egypt, the Midian sold Joseph to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, a captain of the guard. Let's go over to Yeshua again. Okay, we'll go for a little while longer since teenagers are not here. We'll go until 10:30. Okay, let's go over to Yeshua. Didn't the Egyptians think this was wrong to buy slaves and sell slaves? Didn't they think it was wrong, Yeshua?
Well, for them it was right. For us is wrong. Because taking slaves wouldn't be fun. Then they don't get to see their family, and they also don't get to see their friends again.
So why didn't the Egyptians think this was wrong?
Because they need somebody else to do the work when they are doing something else.
Well, why didn't people just get hired? Why didn't they, work and you get paid and have a job? Why didn't these people think that it was wrong to buy another human?
Because they want the people that work there to be there, the rulers.
Be the rulers, okay. Hadassah, didn't these people think that Joseph might miss his family?
They won't think about that. They think that stealing, they're thinking to take Joseph to Egypt.
Yeah, well, then the people in Egypt think that it would be bad for Joseph. He wouldn't see his mommy and daddy. He wouldn't see his brothers or his sister. Didn't they think that might be wrong?
Well, they didn't think about that. They were thinking to steal from people.
They thought stealing was okay.
Yeah.
Is stealing okay, Hadassah?
No,
Then why do these people think that stealing is okay?
because they're following Pharaoh.
They're following Pharaoh, so Pharaoh didn't have God's rules?
No, he got his own rules.
Okay, got his own rules. Okay, that's a good answer, Hadassah. Shmooey, is it okay to follow your own rules instead of God's rules?
No.
No. So why are these people doing that, Shmuel?
Those people wanna do their own plan.
You're mumbling. I can't hear you.
So let me say it again. Because they wanna make their own plan.
They want to make their own plan. So God let them make their own plans?
No.
Well, Joseph is sold, so they must have their own plan, right?
Right, Sammy? Sammy, right? He's thinking.
He's thinking, okay, I'll go to sleep while I was singing.
Maybe no. Maybe no.
Okay.
He said.
Okay, well, it's good for us to think about this and see this in scripture that Joseph was probably very scared, very worried. Okay. He didn't know if he's ever gonna see his mommy and daddy ever again. Okay. He didn't know whether he's gonna see his brothers ever again. He didn't know if he was gonna see his home country ever again and where he lived. Okay. So this could be very scary. Okay. And when you're with pagans or people that are bad, okay, they have no rules, okay? When you don't follow God, people have no rules and they do whatever they want, okay? And when people do whatever they want, they can treat you nice or they can treat you bad. It's up to them, okay? And when there's no police and there's no rules of the country, they can treat you nice and they can treat you bad. And if you're a slave, you have no uh, no rights. Okay, meaning you can't tell them you can't do that. Okay. So Joseph had to trust God. Okay, he had to trust Jehovah because he didn't remember. We're talking about in the last 2 days. He did nothing wrong, right? Did nothing wrong. He just told his brothers, James, right? He did nothing wrong. And then his brothers plotted to kill him. And instead of killing him, okay, they sold him. They sold him for some money, not even a lot of money, okay? Especially with all the brothers had to split the money. Okay, he didn't get a lot of money out of this. And here he is all the way down in Egypt. But God was with him, okay? So the first thing before we move from this slide, we'll go for a few more minutes, okay, is we never want to become slaves. Okay, so let me ask Ellie Mae, go to a teenager for a little bit, for a minute or two. How do you stop from becoming yourself from becoming a slave? Ellie Mae, how do you stop from becoming a slave yourself?
You follow God.
What do you mean you follow God?
You follow God and do what He says.
And what happens if you don't?
Then a whole bunch of awful things will happen to you. Like you'll become a slave, or you could be kidnapped and done all kind of bad things to you.
Okay, so now what happens if you say you're sorry to God once you get taken as a slave? Will it stop?
No,
Why not?
because you were doing all those bad things, and after you get punished, you can't just say I'm sorry, because most likely you'll just go back to doing that thing that you did wrong again.
Okay, Allie Mae made a good point, everybody. Okay, Allie Mae said that once we get taken as slaves, you can't say you're sorry to God and then it's all of a sudden going to stop. Okay, that's why we teach the commandments, because God, Jehovah, made promises. And he says, if you do these things, I'll protect you and you won't become a slave. Okay, now Joseph is going to be used for a prophecy. So sometimes you have to go through some bad times, but he trusts in God and God was with him. So let's just go to this next part real quick. Allie Mae read chapter 39, verse 1, 2, and 3.
Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him from the Ishmaelim, who had brought him there. Adonai was with Joseph, and he became wealthy while he was in the household of his master, the Egyptian. His master saw how Adonai was with him, that Jehovah had prospered everything he did.
Okay, thank you, Allie Mae. Good read. Good read. Okay, let's see if there's any words we need to look at here. Let's go over to Yeshua. Yeshua. It says in verse 2, Jehovah or Adonai was with Joseph. It says it right here. Let me get my tool. It says it right here. Jehovah was with Joseph. What does that mean? Jehovah is with you.
It's like somebody is by your side. God is by your side.
What do you mean by your side? You're right. I mean, but let's explore it a little bit more. What do you mean by your side?
It's like he is together. He's with you.
He's together, he's with you. Okay, Hadassah, what does it mean that Jehovah was with Joseph? What does that mean?
It means that somebody's with you.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if you understand what that means.
Parasha, you can't use the same word in the definition.
I want to see if you understand that Jehovah was with him. I need to explain that to me.
It's like when like Yeshua and Sammy are with me.
Okay, that's good. That's understanding it a little bit. Shmuel, what does it mean that Jehovah was with Joseph? What does that mean, Shmuel?
That means that if me, Tasa, and Joshua were together finding something.
Finding something. Find. What do you mean?
Say it together, like say letter. Find some. No, it's not finding. What is with you? What is the definition? What is with me? No.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to see if you understand what it means in verse 2, where it said Jehovah was with Joseph. So if you don't understand it, I'll explain it, but I'm trying to see if you can explain it to me.
He's thinking.
He's thinking. Okay, well, you think about it for a little bit. Okay, let's go over to Elisheva. Elisheva, it said Joseph became wealthy. What does it mean to become wealthy, Elisheva? What's the word wealthy mean? Wealthy. Wealthy.
Wealthy, what does wealthy mean? Okay, does it
I love money.
to have a lot of money?
Get a lot of money.
How did he get the money if he was a slave?
Oh, good question. How do you think he got wealthy?
Get wealthy. Or
Think.
I'm trying.
Oh, yeah.
I thought slaves didn't make money.
Mm-hmm. How do you think he made money? What do you think? You can't think. Oh, hey. Look, Joseph, and he became wealthy while he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. He gave him stuff. He gave him stuff.
I think that
You could say,
he gave him stuff.
He gave him stuff. Right, he gave him stuff. Okay, so very good. He gave him stuff. Okay, and when you get stuff, you can then trade it for other things. Okay. Now, Allie Mae, and then we'll wrap up class after this. So the little ones got their good half hour in. Allie Mae, verse 2 and 3, Jehovah was with Joseph. He became wealthy while he was in the household of his master, the Egyptian. His master saw how Jehovah was with him, that Jehovah prospered everything he did. How did his master see that Jehovah, the king of the universe, was with him? Allie Mae.
Well, for one, he probably saw him praying every once in a while. He probably um, he probably heard him praying. for one, and heard him talking to God. He probably saw how wealthy he was getting.
Okay, so how does that translate into the master seeing how Jehovah was with Joseph?
Well, let's see. I mean, it does say that that Jehovah prospered everything he did. So he knew how wealthy he was getting, and he probably knew by how he acted and how like, and by the way he prayed and everything, that Jehovah was with him.
Okay. All right. Well, the key here, it was sort of a question that was already there. Okay. His master saw how Jehovah was with him, that Jehovah prospered everything he did. Can you tell me what the word prospered is, Allie Mae? Prospered.
Prospered means to like bless him and like give him things, like to praise what he did.
Okay. Prospered means to, uh, like, if he was, if he had animals, the animal wouldn't just have one baby, it would have two or three.
Yeah.
Okay. Prospered if he planted a crop, there would be a, yes, Yeshua?
Prosper is like you're rich
Yes. But how did he get rich?
by obeying his master.
Well, the master Potiphar is seeing how Jehovah was with Joseph, that he prospered everything he did. So what's he looking at? What's going on with Joseph that the master's seeing that God is with Joseph?
He Potiphar is seeing that God is by him, right next to him.
How, you mean he sees God? I mean, he sees him physically?
No, maybe he might see Joseph praying, and then like he saw like a white, I don't know, like Joseph saw a vision, and Potiphar and Potiphar saw when he was
Uh,
passing by.
Potiphar saw the vision in Joseph's head?
Well, no, the ruach coming.
No. Hadassah, you have your hand up?
Prostrating means it's like you're rich. Prostrating is rich, for he's done.
Say it, Hadassah.
Prostrating is like you're rich.
Mm-hmm. Prospered means you're rich. Okay. Now, what was happening is Joseph was blessed by Jehovah, okay, by God, okay, and everything he did was became good. So if he planted a crop of corn, instead of getting a little bit of corn, he got a lot of corn, and then you could sell that corn for more money, okay. Instead of having one baby cow, maybe two baby cows came out, okay. Instead of having one sheep, maybe two sheep, okay. And everything he did prospered, okay. Everything he did was good. Uh, he had a business deal, okay. So they sold some corn or some fruit or some vegetables, and they got a lot of money for what they were selling, more than other people. Okay? When other people weren't having rain on their fields to grow food, Joseph's field had rain. Okay? So when Jehovah's with you, meaning God is going to bless you. So his presence is with you. Okay, his presence is with you, meaning that the Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, is with you. Okay, and he'll protect you, and he'll bless you. Okay, so even though Joseph, we'll wrap up on this, even though Joseph was a slave, he still served God. Okay, and then he got all this money, even though he was a slave. His father would say, okay, you take the rest. I got enough. And he gave him the rest. Yeshua, do you have your hand up?
Slaves don't get their money that easy.
No, they don't. This is why it was amazing. This is why Potiphar, the captain of the guard, saw that Jehovah was with Joseph. Okay? All right, we're going to wrap it up because we only have the little kids here today. And we did good. Let me take this off the screen. We're going to close in some prayer. We're going to close a little early because we don't have any of the teenagers except for Allie Mae, and I don't want to burden Allie Mae too much. She works out one, she's the only one. All right, I'm thinking of a number from 1 to 10. Allie Mae, you go first.
7.
Raw. Yeshua.
I am thinking 3.
Raw. Elisheva.
Oh, Sammy, you are 8.
Raw. Hadassah.
Parasha talk. Parasha you. I'm thinking of a number.
What number?
8. Ellie said that.
8. Raw. Shmooey.
Sammy, what number? I'm thinking. What do you think? My
Wrong. Allie Mae.
6.
Allie Mae, wrong.
2.
You got it. Close us in prayer.
2.
Thank you, Lord, for this day, and thank you for letting us have another day of life, and thank you for letting us be able to have this class today, and thank you for all the kids on class, and thank you for the parents that teach us everything. In Yeshua's name, Amen.
Amen. Have a great day, guys. Shalom.
Shalom.
Score.
Shh, shh, shh.
Hey.
Bye-bye.